Hi you guys, it's Jenny with Planner Perfect. Today I'm going to go over my 7-step method to help you plan better. This was inspired by just years and years of planning and personal growth, and I wanted to share it with you. It is on my blog, but nothing like a video to really hone in and to kind of demonstrate how to put that method into action. We're just going to dive right in. This is the Traveler's Notebook. I'm in love with it. I use the Chic Sparrow, and I'm loyal to her just because I can't even believe how beautiful it is. I mean, I always joke, I wish I could meet her and like hold her hand because I just think that her quality of work is outstanding. I've got a ton of them. You guys, if you knew how many Traveler's Notebooks I have of hers, yeah. Anyway, these are my plan books, and they're created using the same method as if you're doing my ring binders. And I'm in love with it. I honestly don't think, girls, I could plan any other way. These plan books are just set up so beautifully that you can really use your creativity, plan beautifully. They are like keepsakes, and the paper's divine. Everything about them screams beautiful life planner. I can't even handle it. I will never use anything else. So let's get right into it. I had to change locations because my children were starting to get into the same room as I was. The 7-step method, I'm going to get right into it. And so I will start to use some of my pages to kind of help with this too. I'm going to go over the 7 steps and what they are first, and then we'll dive into their details. There's the calendar girl: switch your focus, know your talents, discover your calling, write your mission statement, define what you want, and the right tools. So let's talk about the first one, calendar girl. Okay, so here's your calendar. Let me tell you a little bit. I'm going to kind of read off my blog a little bit about what I had written underneath it. And it basically, you're going to want to let your calendar to kind of take a backseat. I know women who literally plan out of calendars alone, and little do they know that they're completely depriving themselves of personal growth. You cannot, and it is impossible to live in these tiny squares. It just basically is. It's time to set monthly goals. It's time to not live off of activities. A lot of times, I know a lot of you women are living off of your kids' activities. There's a lot of busyness going on in your October month or your month's calendar, and you feel like that is somewhat of a success. Like, wow, you're busy, you've got things going on, your children are busy, you're busy. But busyness doesn't equate success. It just does not. What matters most is what exactly does any of this have complete purpose and intent behind it, and where is it going to take you and your children in the long run? And that's what you really need to focus on. So going to, if soccer is consuming your lives and you have no time for yourself and you don't eat dinner together and you're always rushed and hurried and you have babies crying, is that something that in the long run, are you destroying their future if you decide to do something different instead? You know what I mean? It's time to look at what we're doing and putting into our schedule and dissecting it to see if that really has, is that progressing us toward our goals and our family goals and our personal goals. So that's what we need to do. And so you're going to be taking your calendar now. Obviously, this is a place that it harnesses all of that. We need that. But let's be careful not to go nuts, fill it all in, and create busyness. Yeah, and let's just not to create business when we don't need to, because everything that we do should be done with purpose. And so diving into already our calendar first and finding out all that we have in there, and if all this that we have in there is aligned with our goals. So number 2, switch your focus. This is something that is very it's just huge for me because a lot of women tend to organize all of their tasks. They're really good at it, you know. They decorate it, love it, um, and live by it. They are glorifying these tasks. And what I want to encourage and inspire you with is that you're more than just your tasks. Believe it or not, you are more than all that you have to do and that list that you've got running for you. You are more than that, and you need to set some goals, and your life should revolve more around your goals versus your tasks in life. Okay, so if I'm if one of my goals is for where I'm going with my business and my painting business and plan books, then I'm going to make sure that I'm up at 5 a.m. I'm going to get some stuff done that are on my list. Now, I'm not going to glorify these by any means, but I am going to get them done. So I've got my top 3, which is dishes out, laundry in, and then now this is something though that I want to do. So I get these out, and I'm going to fold those clothes, and then I'm going to be painting. Okay, so I use this time before kids are up and I get these done. Then I'm going to be mailing off some of my stuff. Now, this is me. This is a personal goal thing. This is something that fulfills me. That is something that is a goal of mine, something that I'm pursuing. So when I'm doing this, this is fulfilling me. This is me not just picking up dry clean, taking kids to soccer. This is what I'm making sure that I'm in here too. Okay, you don't want to lose yourself. And that's so important. I don't want you to lose yourself. I don't want you to define yourself by your goal, your tasks, and I don't want you to define yourself in your motherhood. I want you to define yourself as in who God created you to be and what you were made to do. Because your children will grow up and they will leave, and you need to know who you are, and you need to know. And I heard this on TD Jakes this morning, and I loved it. He said, what are you, what do you bring into the room, and what do you offer the world? What do you bring to the table? And I love that. And don't get me wrong, I'm a mom of 8. I homeschool them. I know I love being my children's mom. They're a blessing to me. They are such a blessing, and what they've done in my life. I love babies. I love children. I love what I do, being their mother, and I love being home with them. I wouldn't trade it for the world. But I remember in my early 20s, I actually didn't know what was wrong, but I knew something was missing. And all my life really was my homemaking and play dates. And I felt something was wrong, but I just didn't know what. And now I know. Now that I'm in my 40s, it's almost like God's given me another chance to kind of to get it. But it's almost like I'm starting a family all over again, because I've gotten my latter set of 4 kids that I'm raising now and homeschooling them. And I'm still doing my other ones too. I mean, they're just teenagers, but it's kind of like, you know what? My identity is not in just that. It's like, who the heck am I? And you need to unveil that and figure that out. And so when this was birthed, kind of perfect, it all was with when I had that awakening. And that was, oh geez, I don't even know, 8 years ago, maybe, 10 years ago. So right around there is when it started to begin and then evolve. So anyways, that's why I'm just so passionate about sharing with you, because it is so vital and so important as us women to discover who we are and to stop glorifying and living around our tasks and becoming task slaves and being really professional at organizing our tasks, and instead create our life around our goals and our mission statements for ourselves, and actually spending each day growing personally and growing as women, okay? And so stop being a slave to your tasks. You become more when you switch your focus from following just and only your tasks. Take the burden off your tasks to identify who you are. You are more than your tasks in life. Knowing your calling and creating goals around it keeps you focused on what gives you personal growth. Now that's better planning, and that's what I had just written in my blog. So now let's, wanted to also take note, I kind of went off the beaten path, but after there's me, then, I fulfill my stuff with my children, what we're doing for the day, my dinner, my job and my role as their mother and wife, and what I'm doing. And that's in there too. That's in all fulfilling with its details, how I'm going to accomplish it. That way I accomplish it well. I've got my dinner plan. I know what I'm doing with my kids and this and there and buying and this. Anyway, that's better planning. Let's go on to knowing your talents, which all just goes into, it all bleeds in together. But knowing your talents is so important. And again, I have girlfriends, and I've had some girlfriends who they don't realize what they're even good at. And that breaks my heart, because you need to know who you are. And so here we go back to the beginning, where who are you? What did God give you? What are your talents? And what can you do to share that with the world? So that is very, very, very important. I had written down, discover what your talents are and use them. If you think God skipped you, you are wrong. If you haven't discovered your talents, begin thinking about what you love and go from there. Using your talents for our own fulfillment and to share them with the world is vital in becoming all you can be, and to find pleasure in life and what God has given you. You realize too, you're a much better mother. You're happier when you are fulfilling what your calling is and what your talents are, and you're using them. You got a spring in your step, and you're up early in the morning, and you're going to get up at 5 to accomplish you before you dive into your family. That's what personal growth does. And that's what living on purpose does. So I encourage you, if you don't know what your talents are, to explore what you love, start from there, and just let it bloom from there. But identify it and dig deep and find out what you're good at. What is your calling? That's the fourth one, which goes right into it. Within our talents, we find our calling. And so I'm not talking about being our children's mother. That is our duty, which I spoke on that earlier. Your calling is under a different category, something that is for us and what we were meant to do, to help and serve others outside of our motherhood. Now, understand that not everything we're good at is our calling. I used to think that the several things I was good at was what I needed to focus on. Not so. I've learned that just makes me mediocre at a lot of things and a master at none. So focus on that one thing that you love and that you've been called to do, and become a master at it, praying for God to reveal it, that it is that He's called you to do, and that'll help. And that's how we can define our purpose. So, having said that, girls, just go within that and find out what your calling is and go for it. So that was number 4. So writing a mission statement. Now, I've done that for my ring binders. I've actually had something where you can write that out. But I find too that if you do fill in within your goals and your dreams, and you've got that all categorized out, that's kind of like your mission statement as well. But a mission statement is basically, it's a statement of intent. And I like to do one for me and for my family, actually, but because they're going to differ, but they still are aligned. And a mission statement defines what you were called to do and to help you keep your focus and hold you accountable. So it's easier then if you've got that mission statement. It helps you be able to say yes or no to certain activities, because if it doesn't align with your mission statement or your goals, then you'll know whether to say yes or no. There's no, ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, it could be as good as, serving down at the at a open door mission or another place to help the needy, or it could be in your church. It doesn't matter how good it is. If it is causing stress and all of that, you can say no to that and yes to other things. So this helps you know what to say yes to and what to say no to. And during certain seasons as well. So there's certain times that you can do that and certain times that you can't. So keeping that mission statement and those goals and having a goal section is what keeps us aligned with what we're to do and what we're going toward. And so anything else that kind of goes against it, or you can't do it during that season or month, you know whether to say yes or no. Okay, so that's why that's so important to have a mission statement or having your goals written in each of your months, so that you know where you're headed and you know what you're doing, and which is what keeps us on track and keeps our focus to where it needs to be. So let's go to the other one, is defining what you want, which this is imperative in planning. We need to know what we want. So think about your life as a whole, and we want to be visionaries for our future. And you need to know how to define what you want. That's why I'm big into details, so don't, again, I don't even know how women are. I'm going to discuss this for a minute. This is nothing against that. I want to encourage you to plan differently, because a lot of women, even if they're planning, they've got these small boxes right here, and they're little boxes, even if they're supposed to be their days. It looks like a calendar setup, but it's, I don't know, a week on 2 pages or something like that. And they're literally, the only thing they've got written down in their day is watch Game of Thrones or something, or pick up their child. The thing about that, what you're going to want to be careful of is you're not using all of you if that's all you're putting down for your day. You need to really know what you want, know what you're going after, and that goes with your whole family, your life, and you've got to script it out, and you've got to have its details, because if there's no details, you're not defining what you want, and so therefore it's not going to happen. So it's imperative that you know what you want. And this will make you plan better, because you will have an objective, an aim, a purpose, and your prompt each month is to set goals, and it will need you to know what you want. So these goals too, as well, you say that you, whether it be my painting or what all that, if I've got something that I'm shooting for, I've got to know how I'm going to actually do it. If I'm I got to keep up good habits. If I really want to do this, I can't say I'm going to paint X plan books a week. That's not good enough. I can't just say I'm going to go paint this and say, okay, well, that's my goal. Let's hope that happens. Well, number one, I have 8 children. Odds of that even happening by accident or just by luck is never going to happen. I could find a billion other things to do other than paint. There's a lot of things that need to be done, but I have to make the time, and I have to know when, and I want to do this. So if I'm going to define what I want, I need to write down exactly my action plan, because you know what that does then? When you write down your plan of action, you almost go like in automatic pilot, and your body just kind of flows against what you just told your mind what you're going to do, and then you go on automatic pilot. So define what you want, create an action plan and an aim. And you can do it, and you can't have an excuse that you can't do this, you can't do that, because you can. And you know what? I have a big family. I could easily say that, but I would rather get up really early and go to bed late and fulfill my dreams and still be present and plugged in mother than to skip me altogether. Okay, but if I plan it out, I will be able to define what I want and go after what I want. My next one is the last one. It's just the right tools. You need good pens. You need the right paper. You need you just need everything to help you plan your best. So that's where all the fun stuff comes in, whether it be some washi tape, some perfect stamps, the right calligraphy pen, anything that helps create the atmosphere. You also need your atmosphere. Where can you go to write and spend your time? All of those are just all the right tools to help you plan your best and plan better. I'm going to answer a couple questions. I had some women that were asking about how to plan and how actually everything fits into there, and this falls kind of in a line when women talk about their bullet journaling, or they talk about how do you put that in this Planner Perfect method. How do you do it with either bullet journaling or bucket lists, stuff like that? Some women will have running lists. Now, the thing about having a separate planner and having a bucket list is just that you're never going to really get into that. And if you've got a running list of like movies you want to see or things you want to read and do, the odds of you going through that and actually accomplishing that is going to be next to nil. The thing is that the reason why this makes it so easy to these goal sections in this method is because you can actually go through different movies that you want to see, and you can break it up into the actual months that you actually are going to. succeed at it. So this puts a fire underneath it. It lights a fire under all those things that you want to do. So that's why even for me, I've got in some of my goals, I've got a book section. I think I had that actually in my September. I had certain books that I wanted to read in here. I've got homeschooling ideas even, and then you could do what books you want to read, what movies you want to go see, what projects you're going to do, and you're breaking it down into the month. So let's say, well, I don't think I'm going to get it here. I'm going to go put this over in my October, or no, that's definitely a November movie. I'm going to do that. Or you can say, oh, I want to watch this one Christmas movie, and so I want to have fun and do that with my kids. So I'm going to make sure I put that in my goal section of my December pages, so that way I've got it already there, and I just, when no December comes, I'll see it, and I'm going to do that with my kids. It's been thought out in advance. I'm going to do it. Projects. Well, you could write a project in a list and close the book on it and shelve it, and you're never going to get it done. But if you say, well, I'm going to do this project, I'm going to actually say I'm going to do this at the end of October. I'm going to go ahead then, put it in my October goal section, and write down, leave a page for specifically a project, whether it be whatever you want to do. Whether you're going to redo your kitchen, you're going to build this, do that, then you would write that header and all of its details on how you're going to do it. And then when your day comes of when you're ready to go do it, then you would say, here's your flow of your day. You say, you're going to put a segment in here because you know what your week looks like. You can say, this is when I'm going to accomplish and start that project. I'm going to give myself a week. So within your days, each of that, see how that has lit a fire. Now you are going to actually put it in your days, and now you're actually succeeding at something that you've set a goal to do. So that's what makes this so vital. These goals within your planning method, within this planning method, it actually helps you succeed at your goals you define. There you go, guys. That is my 7-step method. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that I've inspired you to plan better and to become all you were created to be. Until next time.